The first time I saw my wife with another man, I was lying in a hospital bed. My body broken, but my vision painfully, miraculously clear. They thought I was asleep. The soft beep of the heart monitor was the only sound, a steady rhythm counting down the seconds of my shattered life. The door whispered open, and I saw Clara, my wife, her face, a mask of concern so perfect it could have won an award. And behind her, his hand resting possessively on the small of her back, was my business partner and best friend of 20 years, Marcus. It wasn't the intimate touch that shattered me. It was the look they exchanged, a quick silent glance as they approached my bed. It wasn't the look of friends sharing a burden of grief. It was a look of shared secrets, of collusion. It was the look Clara used to reserve only for me, in our best moments, now twisted into something vile and clandestine. In that fraction of a second, the last intact piece of my world crumbled to dust. I kept my eyes at a slit, my breathing deep and even, playing the part of the unconscious invalid. I had become a spectator in my own ruin. "The doctor says it's still touch and go," Clara said, her voice a practiced tremor of sorrow. She pulled a chair close to my bed, her perfume Chanel No. 5, the one I bought her every Christmas, filling the sterile air, now smelling like betrayal. Marcus stood behind her, his figure tall and imposing in a tailored suit. The concussion was severe. There could be brain damage, memory loss. "The lawyer is preparing the power of attorney documents, Clara. We need to be ready to manage everything." The lawyer, power of attorney, manage everything. The words hung in the air, heavy and sinister. "The company," Clara whispered, her hand reaching for mine, but stopping just short, as if repulsed by my bandaged skin. "Can you handle it? Without Ben?" Marcus placed a comforting hand on her shoulder, a gesture that lingered too long. "I've got it all under control. The buyout offer from AetherTech, it's more than generous. With Ben incapacitated, it's the prudent thing to do. We'll be set for life, Clara. No more worries." AetherTech, our rival company. For a year, Marcus and I had fought them off, a David against a Goliath. Our shared dream, our tech startup, Nexus, built from nothing but code and caffeine, was finally turning a profit we'd vowed never to sell. It was our legacy. Now, while I lay broken from a hit and run on a rainy night, an accident, whose details now seemed horrifically convenient, they were planning to sell my life's work out from under me. Clara leaned into his touch. "I just feel so guilty," she murmured. But the tone was all wrong. It was the tone of someone who wants to be told they shouldn't feel guilty, not someone actually crushed by remorse. "Don't," Marcus soothed, his voice dropping to an intimate murmur. "He never appreciated you. Not really. Working all hours, this obsession with his legacy. You deserved more. You deserve a life of luxury, not waiting around for a man who might never come back to you." And she nodded, a tiny, almost imperceptible nod, the final nail in the coffin of our marriage. They left shortly after, their whispers fading down the hall. Only then did I allow a single, hot tear to trace a path through the grime and dried blood on my temple. The pain from my broken ribs, my fractured femur, was a dull ache compared to the raw, screaming agony in my chest. My name is Ben, and in the space of 5 minutes, I had lost my wife, my best friend, and my company. But I had gained something invaluable, the truth, and a cold, burning purpose. The recovery was a special kind of hell. Every physiotherapy session, every searing bolt of pain, was fuel. The doctors called me a miracle, my progress astonishing. They didn't know I was powered by pure, undiluted rage. I leaned into the prognosis of potential brain damage. I was slow to respond, my speech slightly slurred, my eyes often vacant. I was the perfect picture of a man who had lost a step, A man who could be easily managed, easily manipulated. Clara played her part beautifully, the devoted wife. She'd read to me from get-well cards, spoon-feed me broth, and update me on the world outside, with a carefully curated selection of lies. She told me the police had hit a dead end with my hit and run. She told me Nexus was struggling without my leadership, that Marcus was a saint for holding it together. And through it all, I watched. I learned. I saw the new, subtle jewelry on her fingers, pieces I hadn't bought. I smelled Marcus's distinct cologne on her clothes when she visited late in the evening. I saw the way her eyes lit up when her phone buzzed with a text, and the way that light died when she saw it was anyone but him. The day I was discharged, Marcus was there, all smiles and backslapping bonhomie. "Welcome back, brother." "Well, almost back. Don't you worry about a thing. I'm holding down the fort." Thank you, Marcus," I slurred, leaning heavily on my cane. "Don't know what I'd do without you." His smile was a masterpiece of condescension and hidden triumph. It's what friends are for. Our home, once my sanctuary, felt like a museum of my own naivety. Every piece of art we'd chosen together, every book on the shelf, felt like a prop in a play that had closed without my knowledge. Clara fluttered around me, adjusting pillows, her nervous energy a stark contrast to her previous performances of calm concern. "The lawyer is coming tomorrow," she said, unable to meet my eyes. "Just some paperwork, darling, to make things easier while you recover." Marcus arranged it all. I nodded slowly, my expression blank. "Whatever you think is best." The lawyer, a slick man named Roberts, whom Marcus had hired, laid out the power of attorney documents. He spoke to me slowly, loudly, as if I were a simple child. Clara sat beside me, her hand over mine, her skin cold. "It's just a formality, Ben," she said, her voice sweet as poisoned honey. "This way I can handle the bills, and Marcus can make the necessary decisions at Nexus until you're fully yourself again." I looked at the documents, then at her, my eyes wide and guileless. You'll take care of everything?" "Of course, my love," she beamed. "I always do." I picked up the pen, making my hand tremble slightly. I scrawled a signature that was a messy, childish version of my own. Clara's sigh of relief was audible. Roberts packed his briefcase with a satisfied smile. The trap was set. They just didn't know they were the ones stepping into it. The following weeks were a masterclass in deception. During the day, I was Ben the Broken, shuffling around the house, staring out windows, a burden to be managed. But at night, when Clara thought I was sedated with painkillers, I worked. I had a hidden laptop, a secure line I'd set up years ago and never told anyone about, not even Clara. While she thought I was asleep, I was hacking. I accessed our company servers. I tapped into Clara's cloud account. I unearthed every dirty secret. I found the emails between her and Marcus, dating back over a year. They were full of plans and passion, but also of a breathtaking greed. They talked about me with contempt, the obstacle, the workaholic. Soon, Marcus wrote, it will all be ours. The money, the company, the life. We just need to be patient. I found the financial records. Marcus had been slowly siphoning funds from Nexus, creating shell companies and fake invoices, preparing to bankrupt it before the life-saving buyout from EtherTech, a buyout he had secretly negotiated for a massive personal kickback. And then I found the most damning thing of all. Security camera footage from a traffic light near the scene of my accident. It was grainy, but unmistakable. Marcus's black BMW, a car I'd ridden in 100 times, speeding away from the intersection moments after the reported time of my hit and run. It wasn't an accident. It was attempted murder. The emotional weight of it was a physical blow. This wasn't just betrayal. It was annihilation. The man I'd considered a brother had tried to erase me from existence for money and for my wife. And my wife? My Clara? Had she known? The evidence suggested she knew about the financial schemes. But the attempt on my life? I had to believe, for the sake of the love I once felt, that she hadn't. But her complicity was a deep, festering wound. The day of the Nexus AetherTech signing arrived. Clara dressed with care, a sharp, expensive navy blue suit I'd never seen before. "Marcus needs me to be there," she explained, not meeting my eyes. "For moral support, and to sign some of the papers well, you're not quite up for it yet, darling." "I understand," I said, my voice flat. "You should look successful." She kissed my forehead, a dry, empty gesture. "I'll be back soon. It's a happy day, Ben. This sale will secure our future." "Our future," I repeated. The moment the door closed behind her, I moved. The shuffling gait disappeared. The vacant look in my eyes was replaced by a cold, sharp focus. I showered, shaved off the beard I'd grown during my convalescence, and put on the one suit I'd hidden in the back of my closet, a sharp, Italian-made suit from my previous life. I looked at myself in the mirror. I looked like Ben again, but I wasn't. That man had died in the street. That rainy night. This was someone else. I arrived at the Nexus headquarters just as the celebration was beginning. I could hear the laughter and clinking of glasses from the conference room. I walked through the offices I had built, past the empty desks of loyal employees Marcus had already laid off, my footsteps silent on the plush carpet. I paused at the door to the conference room. Through the glass wall, I saw them. Marcus, holding a glass of champagne, beaming, his arm around Clara's waist. Clara, holding a pen, smiling up at him, her face flushed with victory. The executives from AetherTech were smiling, shaking hands. On the large table lay the contracts, thick stacks of paper that represented the end of my dream and the culmination of their treachery. I pushed the door open. The conversation died instantly. All heads turned towards me. The silence was absolute, broken only by the quiet hum of the air conditioning. Confusion flickered across every face. Who was this stranger interrupting their triumph? Then Clara's eyes met mine. Her smile froze, then slowly melted into a mask of utter shock. Her face drained of all color. The champagne flute slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor. Ben? She stammered. "What? How?" Marcus's reaction was slower, his brain refusing to compute the data. The broken man, the shuffling invalid, was gone. In his place stood the man he used to know, standing tall, his eyes clear and burning with an icy fire. "Ben!" he boomed, recovering quickly, trying to reclaim the narrative. "What a wonderful surprise. You're looking, come to join the celebration?" He took a step towards me, his body language attempting to dominate, to control. I didn't look at him. My eyes were locked on Clara. "Celebration?" I said, my voice strong, steady, and cold as stone. It was the first time she'd heard it like that in months. She flinched as if struck. "What exactly are we celebrating, Clara? The successful theft of my company? Or the fact that your lover's attempt to murder me failed?" A collective gasp went through the room. The AetherTech executives looked at each other in alarm. "What are you talking about?" Marcus blustered, his face turning red. "You're confused, Ben. The accident? It affected your mind. You don't know what you're saying." "Don't I?" I finally turned to him, and the hatred in my gaze made him take a step back. "I know everything, Marcus. I know about the embezzlement, the shell companies, the inflated invoices. I know about the kickback EtherTech promised you for selling Nexus out from under me at a fraction of its value. I tossed a USB drive onto the conference table. It's all there. Every transfer, every email, every lie. I turned back to Clara, my heart a block of ice in my chest. And I know about you. I know about the affair. I know you signed my company away while you thought I was too brain damaged to stop you. I heard you, Clara, in the hospital. I heard every word. Her hands flew to her mouth. Her eyes, wide with terror, filled with instant, shocking tears. Ben, no. Please. It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think, I said, my voice cracking for the first time, the raw emotion breaking through the icy facade. You were my wife. I loved you. I built all of this for us, for our future. And you threw it away. You threw me away. For what? For him. I gestured contemptuously at Marcus. For a bigger house? A fancier car? The tears were streaming down her face now, real tears of panic and shame. I was lonely. You were never here. You were always working. Marcus, he was there. He made me feel wanted. So you helped him destroy me? I roared, the sound echoing in the silent room. You let him try to kill me? Did you know, Clara? Did you know he was going to run me down in the street like a stray dog? Her reaction was all the answer I needed. Her eyes widened further, not with confusion, but with a dawning, horrific comprehension. She looked from me to Marcus, her face a mess of betrayal and terror. She hadn't known. She was guilty of greed, of infidelity, of breathtaking cruelty, but not of that. She was just a pawn in his game, too. You didn't know, I whispered, the fight suddenly draining out of me, leaving only a vast, empty sorrow. You greedy, foolish woman. You gave him everything, and you didn't even know the monster you were sleeping with. At that moment, the door opened again. 2 police officers walked in, followed by my own lawyer, a stern woman named Evelyn Shaw, whom I'd secretly contacted from my hospital bed. Marcus Boone, one officer said. You are under arrest for embezzlement, fraud, and the attempted murder of Benjamin Carter. You have the right to remain silent. The scene descended into chaos. Marcus started shouting, sputtering denials as the officers handcuffed him. The EtherTech executives gathered their things and hurried out, their deal in ashes. Clara stood, frozen, sobbing uncontrollably, watching the life she had chosen being led away in handcuffs. I turned to leave. I had seen all I needed to see. Ben! Clara's voice was a desperate wail. She stumbled after me, grabbing my arm. Her touch felt like acid. Please, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. A terrible, terrible mistake. I regret it. I regret everything. Please, don't leave me. I stopped and finally looked at her. I looked at the woman I had loved for 15 years. I saw the tears, the desperation, the genuine horror at the abyss that had opened up at her feet. And I felt nothing. Nothing but a hollow, aching void where my love for her used to live. I know you regret it, Clara, I said, my voice quiet and terribly final. But you don't regret it because you hurt me. You regret it because you got caught. You regret that the luxury you sold your soul for is gone. Your regret is just another form of your greed. I peeled her fingers from my arm. The divorce papers will be delivered tomorrow. Don't fight me on it. You'll get nothing, because that's what you gave me. I walked out of that conference room, away from the ruins of my marriage and my friendship. I didn't look back. The lawyers and the police would handle the rest. Nexus was mine again, but it felt like a hollow victory. It was a company built on a dream I no longer had, with a partner who had tried to kill me. I moved out that day. I left the house, the memories, the ghost of the woman I thought I knew. I started over in a small, quiet apartment with a view of the city. The physical wounds healed, leaving only faint scars. The emotional ones? They are a permanent ache, a cold place in my soul. A month later, a letter arrived. It was from Clara. Her handwriting was shaky. Ben, I know you never want to see me or hear from me again. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I don't even ask for it. I just need you to know that you were wrong about one thing. I do regret hurting you. Every second of every day. The weight of what I did, the depth of my betrayal, it crushes me. I lie awake at night and see the look in your eyes in that conference room, and I want to die. I was greedy. I was blind. I was a fool. Marcus offered me a world of things, and I was so empty I thought they could fill me up. They turned to dust in my hands. You offered me a world of love, and I didn't see its value until I'd already set it on fire. My regret is not for what I lost. It is for what I destroyed. The best man I will ever know. I will live with that regret for the rest of my life. It is my prison sentence. I am so sorry. Clara. I read the letter once. Then I folded it neatly, walked to the kitchen, and held it over the flame of the gas stove. I watched it curl and blacken, turning to ash, just like our marriage, just like the woman I thought she was. I felt a single, hot tear trace a path down my cheek. It wasn't for her. It wasn't for me. It was for the beautiful, perfect thing we had once upon a time, that she had chosen to break, and that no amount of regret, no matter how true, could ever put back together.